Hey there, everybody. As always, welcome to the channel and thanks for stopping by. My name is Rich. I'm the channel host, and normally we're talking about building our drone businesses and the techniques that we use, the gear that we use, and recommendations for what you should be doing. Now, today, normally I'd say I just got in from the field, but today we got in a couple of hours ago after going out and doing a flight for our Solstice project, and we had some issues come up for sure, and I'll tell you about those in just a minute. But so we went out and we did our normal flight, and our normal flight actually took over 2 hours instead of the standard 1 hour time. But we got everything that we were looking for. So now what I'm going to do, I've got a handy dandy little SanDisk here, right? Okay. And we're going to pop that into the BenQ monitor. There we go. And I've already prepped a folder for our latest Solstice visit, so I've got that all ready to go. And here we are. I'm just bringing it up on screen so you can see it, the SD card. Let's open that SD card, and we're going to open that folder. And we are going to grab all of this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 folders. The first folder, because we know how we lay things out, the first folder contains 211 images that go into an orthomosaic or a 3D model. So we're going to be bringing those in. And after we bring those in, we're going to do our normal 98-foot flight around the main construction area. So we've got a video here that's 3.76 gigabytes. So that's pretty big. I'll be doing some editing with that. Oh yeah, so let's just talk about this. So the Solstice Polycopy 2 is the name of the one that we're going to use for doing orthomosaics and 3D models. And so that we've been running for over a year now. But so we'll be popping that into Metashape. We'll be uploading to Sketchfab so that people can see the 3D model. We'll be setting up a GeoTIFF for doing before and after images with the previous flight. And all of those things are achievable because we're going to be using Metashape and all of our data here. So the 98-foot flight, we're going to be using, of course, Final Cut Pro because we're on Mac here. So that is the first one. And then our second one, I actually accidentally started and stopped a video file there. So that's all that is. So the next Solstice video flight, let's see here. Excuse me, this is kind of, right off the bat here. So the first Solstice 98-foot flight was for getting video. The second Solstice 98-foot flight was for capturing stills so that we could show more of the buildings. So all of these things we've been laying out the same way, literally for over a year. So it's a pretty easy workflow for me at this point. Folder number 5, 1 JPEG, that was a misshoot. And folder number 6, we've got some more video from the newly opened area where additional construction is going on. So we've got all of this stuff happening, but we know, from every flight, we know the direction we're going in. We're always doing the setups for the orthos in 3D first. We're doing some video, doing some stills, and doing some additional video on the new area, new locations. So what I'm going to do next, and I'll do this when we go off screen, is I will be dragging all of that onto one of my portable drives, my 2024 Live X9, and so that'll be getting dumped in there. I didn't want to dump it in while we're sitting here talking with each other, okay? So I didn't want to waste your time and my time by doing that. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to minimize that folder where we're putting stuff in. We got some extra footage out there today because one of the reasons why it was 2 hours instead of our normal 1 hour is because we were encountering some issues with wildlife, okay? Seriously, we were having some absolute issues with some of the wildlife, and now I just remembered a image that Jody didn't give me, so I'll be waiting for that. But so we had a lot of wind. It was supposed to be only 16 miles an hour. Not the case on this hillside for sure. We were getting a lot more wind, and when you get a lot of wind and you get all these steep locations, you also find yourself dealing with different birds. So we had some ravens out there on scene today, And we also had several hawks. The ravens were actually playing in the wind, and they were also massively screwing um, with the hawks. The hawks didn't appreciate it. So Jody did get some different video for me here just while we were waiting. I'm standing here watching out toward the horizon because we had several hawks in the area. The drone's sitting on the ground right now, but Jody actually walked in. I'm probably going to use this for a different video, while we were waiting. So there's the FAA vest that I have, and then let's take a look here. And I'm just going to open this up a little more. Hopefully you'll see this just as good as me. You can see we've got Raven, 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 Raven. Actually, I think we also had Jody and myself getting picked up on there talking about it. So we weren't flying with this many of these guys. And by the way, we weren't flying while this relatively loud plane went over us. So we just caught it really quick going across the full screen. As most people who visit this channel know, we are close to KPRC and close to Embry-Riddle and several other flight schools. So we get a lot of air traffic that we have to be paying attention to while we're out there on location. So I just wanted to show you a couple of these and why we were delayed. And even when we finally got flying, we were encountering a lot of wind. So I kept getting wind speed notifications and paid very close attention to them to make sure I was all set. And we were able to collect all of the data we needed to. But we ended up hanging out on site asking, should we go now? Should we go now? If we shouldn't go now. And at one point, we actually had a hawk above the drone, eyeing the drone as I was landing the drone. I had lifted the drone off just to see what it was saying the wind speed was, and that was enough to get the attention of one of the hawks. So now I'm going to go move everything over. I'm going to run stuff in Metashape for the models first, and then I will run the video through Final Cut and do my editing, and then I will also go through all the still images, edit the still images that I want to provide the client, and then I get to package all of this up on the See My Build website. So what that means is I have several more hours of work to do. Out on location for 2 hours, probably messing around with all this stuff for 3 or more hours. So there we go. There is our Saturday morning, and now my Saturday afternoon is going to be doing all this editing and modeling and everything. So wish me luck. That is a typical day. I don't think you want to see me loading all this, running all this, but so I'm just walking you through and telling you what kind of day we had and what our obstacles were. But we did get the job done, and hopefully those wind speed warnings won't be indicating something bad in our models. All right, everybody, we'll see you later.